Okay, so we have our Monday footage to go over. Very happy to do this because I was there, so it should be a lot of fun. I hope. Let's see. Let's get it pulled up. There we go. We're gonna toy with this. What's up, Veronica? Again, bear with me while I get the size sorted out on this because I don't want to miss anything way off to the side over here. So just gotta resize it real quick. That's good enough. Good enough for now. All right, let's do it. Good to be back on the mats with Nick. I don't think he and I had rolled in a minute. He was looking for, I think, a Haragoshi. I really think he wanted to throw me really good. Jordan's showing everybody how to line up at the line of scrimmage. Max ready to beat him up. And Nick almost getting to my back. All right, Jordan and Andrew to start. Andrew's starting down. Jordan, do you know why he was there any injury he was dealing with? I think he started up with me later. I could be wrong. Let's see what Nick did there. That was nice. So Nick eventually gets to be broken down. He's got a heavy collar tie, really making me making me wear his weight. Chest wrap over my back, not looking good for me. And then now he's got into this like kind of cow catcher, like deep underhook there, which is a lot of trouble for me. But I like what he does, this little step with the trip, and then he uses that underhook to get me over, trying as hard as I can to stay up in like 4 points.
Huge honor for me.
I don't remember if I get out of this or not. A little bit of a sit out attempt. Jordan passed the guard. James, thank you, bud. We on a... Oh, we're almost to a hype train, I think. I think that's what that is. Quick, somebody else subscribe. Craig on a single leg, and Jordan blowing by the guard there to settle into north-south. I like this. Staying far from the legs. Danny with the nice re-roll. Thank you for the sub, James. And Max playing from a north-south, but he's leaving a lot of space here over Mike's head. Not really giving him much to worry about. And Mike gets his knee in, as you would expect. I throw Nick to the ground. How did I... Oh, okay. So, sweep single. Way around to the side. And he kind of tries to limp leg out of it, so I just go up to the waist. And he's wisely fighting my grip. Almost gets out. Little throw. Mike playing some open guard here against Max, pulling into an X guard. And notice how well he's getting Max off balance, keeping off balance. He's getting Max's hand to touch the mat if he leans forward. If he switches to reverse X here, that's a really great opportunity to elevate into a cross Ashi position. If Max recovers, well, Mike just takes him back. Dylan and Ben getting it. Dylan, I like that you're immediately trying to bug the legs. Ben just has like a connection with your upper body and is able to kind of sit you back onto your butt, which makes that whole approach a little bit more difficult to execute. That double Kouchi stuff. Jordan looking dangerous here. Again, setting up that Katagatame from started. It looked like you started setting it up from side control, like you were advising me to do a couple weeks back. Really going for it here. And then I think before your hands connect, you step over an amount, it looks like. But you're pretty well along into the grip. You got a tight grip there too. A little like rear naked strangle style. I love how you're taking your time here. Did Andrew tap? Okay, yeah, looks like he tapped. Was that more smother? Yeah, that was smother. Nice. Dude, that was great. That's just like fundamental mount work right there. It was really nice, man. What's up, Ramses? Hello, welcome to the chat. Are you one of our students or just a BJJ enthusiast? Couldn't tell if it was strangle or smother. I was aiming for both. Not a bad idea. It looked more smother just because you didn't have like your head all the way to the outside. But it doesn't mean that your big old biceps couldn't have put on some pressure. Danny with a great snap down back there. Look at what he does with Craig. So right there. He catches Craig really far forward, right? Really bent over. Head in front of the feet. So Danny just gives a good technical lift and a snap at the same time. Well, welcome to the chat, Ramses. I appreciate you being here. If you have any questions, comments, you want to talk some shit, please feel free. Nick coming up on the single leg here. Switching to the outside. I don't know how I got out of that. He did recover though. Mike onto the back attack here with Max. See, before we get too far, Andrew started standing. Jordan keeping guard here. Andrew gets by. Jordan hits his sweep. Just all spine, man. You and Danny just, I don't know how you do that and then walk around the next day or like get out of bed. Oh, I got too far forward. This is fine. Mike gets the rear naked. Ramses, do you train at all or have you thought about training? Calf slicer on Nick. I haven't hit a calf slicer in a hot minute, but this was nice. I'm pretty sure Luke went over this maybe during legs or something. I forgot what the last time I was there, but I don't think this was what Nick was expecting. So I'm on a weird Ashigarami here. He goes to run out. I clamp down and I make sure that my outside leg is over. Step up, grab the hips. I'm stepping on my own foot here, so my right foot is stepping onto my left foot, pushing it towards the knee, and I'm pulling Nick down and really cranking on that knee. Not hard, because I didn't want to hurt him. He's laughing here, I swear. But I don't think he saw it coming, which was nice. Hey, Nick. But the plus side is... okay. That's what it is. So I just have to like let my discs degenerate, and then I can start moving like you do. Think about training, but haven't. Yeah, for sure, man. This is hopefully a good spot. I hope you've been picking stuff up. I've seen you lurking in the chat. I don't like calling people out if they don't want to chat. So, but I hope you've been picking some stuff up. It is a fun, addicting hobby sport. Andrew just about had me down. Arm drag trip from Max. Jordan's having none of it. Let's go one more time. Rude. So there's the arm drag, the level change. This is good. I think Jordan's just able to keep his base. Max may have just taken a little too long to like drive through on that, but whatever. It was a nice attempt. Really good attempt. And good defense from Jordan. Yeah, I'd highly recommend Ramses. It's addicting, but it's a lot of fun. And sometimes you can meet cool people. There aren't too many of them on screen, but it's still worth it. Main learning, how many painkillers you take. We have some guys who could probably teach you that too. A little bit older, I think, but keep in mind, when you go out for your first class or whatever, you don't have to train super hard. I try to remind everybody here. We got Jordan attacking an Americano. Okay, I try to remind everybody that you should train to the level of your partner. So hopefully, if you find a school with a decent squad, some experienced guys, they should be looking forward to wiping the mat with a newbie. They should be helping you learn and not making you need to eat pain pills before class. Andrew had me in a bad spot here. I think my arm was extended. It was either extended or just well isolated with my neck. What else we got? Dylan and Caleb over there. If so, Dylan is not doing hot. Yep, that's Dylan. I get it though. That's where Caleb gets me when I get rolled, that he takes top position. Well, Sophie. We got Sophie over there with James working through some leg lock stuff. Okay. Oh, James showing her the Z-lock. Great. Great. More Z-lockers. Nick trying to... Yeah. Mike gets over. And Nick knows he's got to let it go. Oh, Ronnie. What did Ronnie just do? Or Danny. Oh, Danny catches you. Ah, the knee bar. Okay. Should have just grabbed a finger and broke it, Ronnie. You know the deal. Andrew almost passed my guard on that shoulder crunch sweep, but managed to keep one knee in. And sometimes that's all you need. What do I do here? So a real reach on a sweep single. Not where I want my hand. I'd rather have my hand down here by the ankle, but with it up there, I could switch to a cutback single where I close my hands, pull the leg this way, drive my head that way. That's what gets Andrew sat down. And then now I just have to try to pass the guard. So hand push on the knee, settle in. Nick trying to get out of Mike's north-south. It's a terrible place to be with him. And Mike is digging on that Kimura. So you see he's trying to pick that up. Gets that figure four grip. Nick smartly kind of keeping the head out so it's not caught between Mike's legs, but he's not out of the woods yet. Me and Andrew help Nick out. Let's see what Mike does with this. He's got 30 seconds on this. Max looking for an arm drag. Oh, into a gogoplata. Looks like the shin's low though. Not really gonna get much of a choke. And Mike goes to the back. Nice. Active round. And Mike getting it. Me and Craig. Fighting over Nick. I wanted that to be so much cooler than it was. If you guys can't tell, sweep single, my preferred single, and I think, in my opinion, one of the best single legs you can do in jiu-jitsu. If you can stand back up. If you just try to slide into it and stay down, you end up getting yourself in a lot of trouble. But if you can stand back up quickly, you normally can get a lot done with that. Onto an arm drag. Psycho there for a second. We're head to head. That's the minimum amount of distance I want. Anything more than this, I'm not going to do an arm drag. There's the pass off. Pull it by. Big reach up and over. Sliding by this leg. And now crowding in. I thought he jammed his hand up there, but he said he was fine. Little head tap in action. Jackson trying to kill his old man. Love that. Onto the back for Craig. Just getting rear naked. I think Craig really likes this entry, but he says there's no belt. I can't do it. I said, of course you can do it. So he's got the shins in the right place. Got to reach up and grab the hips. Then he goes on to hit it like 2 more times in this round. I put these two. Oh, they're just relocating. Nick is going to catch you in a crucifix. I haven't missed it, have I? So yeah, notice how Craig does this move. He does it really well. Regards. And this, as I kind of blade my body and he cuts his angle, he's got this grip on my ankle here. And then this leg sneaking behind me, going all the way, hooking over top of my quad. And he like adjusts himself to that position, right? He sneaks this leg in behind, wedging behind my knee to be able to fully make the turn. And then as soon as he has those legs essentially behind me, he can reach up, grab the hips, execute the back take. Just got to be careful when you go to do this move here that I don't decide to sit my butt down past your knee and attack a knee bar. So whenever you're playing this De La Riva position and no-gi especially, you know, that's a risk that you're taking when you do that. So just keep that in mind. Nice escape from Dylan. Mike looking to make a big throw here. Ronnie, don't let me miss the crucifix. Oh, wow. Okay, so I thought Mike was going to switch it up. So he gets the elevation, but doesn't get it moving. He goes to the shoulder crunch, but he's really low on the arm here. Low meaning closer to the wrist in this case. So this isn't going to be good for a sweep at first glance. Better for a straight arm attack, right? The Udigatami. So that's what I thought he was going to do here is he gets his hips out. I don't know if it's because Bin voluntarily goes over, giving up the sweep, or if Mike is encouraging it. Does he hit like a scissor there? The legs, maybe? Possibly. Mike gets hip and head height. Bin trying to recover. I could see Bin getting out of this though. Mike looking for the anaconda. And then Bin takes head height. That was nice. Really nice scramble. I see Max grabbing the legs a lot, but not getting too far, like not making too much progress in passing the guard. Now Dylan just kind of does it for him. Meanwhile, Nicholas making his way to mount. Ronnie exposing the back a bit here. So Nick slides up to kind of an S-mount position, threatening the armbar. Grabs the leg to shut down some of the movement used in armbar escapes. Settles into place. Looks like he's just waiting it out. You should know better than to let Ronnie get to a position where she could start stacking him. She's very good at getting out of triangles and arm bars that way. Gets the arm exposed. What the hell, Ronnie? Did I miss the crucifix? Got 30 seconds left on the round. We're gonna go back real quick to the beginning. Oh, it was right there when you guys moved. Okay. He gets it from standing. Similar to how he got me down, except he... What's up, Baker? I'd be an upside down crucifix. Yeah. Blasphemous. Most blasphemous position in jiu-jitsu. I don't know if they do anything with it though. Relocate. Okay, they just start over. Alright. How you doing, Joe? Max said, why is everybody sitting to their butts trying to do that stuff? And I said, all right, let's wrestle then. So we have a little wrestling match. Just that sit through head and arm. And I'm taking my time setting up a compression choke. So nice and tight. You see, I'm grabbing my own inside of my knee here. I cradle him by taking the top leg, hooking the top leg, and grabbing the inside of my other leg. And I just start to squeeze my knees together for the camel clutch or compression choke or whatever you want to call it. Nick over there on Darce. Pretty early on here. I appreciate Craig tapping early before those set in. Russian, or no, that wasn't anything. That was an attempt on a sweep single with a great sprawl from Max. I get out of the way and get back up quickly. Looks like Mike trying to sweep Jordan, but I think Jordan shut it down. And a great scramble from Max to beat me on the ground. Doing what I can here to keep a bit of a bit of a side guard. I'd rather have my elbow to my knee, but Max kind of beat me there, so I have to dig myself out of this. Just trying to make sure I don't get kicked in the face. Onto a knee bar. I like Mike switching from, he had double underhooks there. Damn. Y'all are shutting down Mike's shoulder crunch today. He has double underhooks here, but then switches to the shoulder crunch. I'm curious, I'd like to see connected hands, and then since he has the butterfly hooks in, like a bear hug sweep I think would be a good alternative to switch into the shoulder crunch. But Mike is pretty high percentage with this anyway, so I could understand why he would just opt to go to a position he's pretty effective at, but not on that one as Jordan pulls out again with that straight arm variation to get the sweep. Like he puts on enough pressure here that it's either roll to relieve it and give up the sweep. Even so, Mike could get on top and keep the straight arm position exactly as you see it, totally locked up, and get the finish. I think Danny did that to me a couple weeks back. Said he just opts to settle into the sweep. Maybe he goes to finish it here. You can see he hasn't moved on the arm. Yeah, he's looking for the straight arm here. Switches to an Americana. Gets it. What's up, Andrew? Craig with the leg entrance. Just about. All right. Uses the leg entrance. Gets a sweep instead. Not a bad trade. I'm trying to banana split Max here, and he's not letting me, so then I try to twister him, and he doesn't let me do that either. Can't remember if I go for another calf slicer here or not. Pretty focused on getting one of these two moves. I don't know if he lets me. We got a little dogfight over here with Coach Luke and Ben. Ben trying to lay on 10-finger guillotine pressure. Wait, what happened? Did I go? Okay, yeah, just different calf slicer variation, but similar mechanics, pushing on my own foot. Sophie and Caleb chatting something through. A lat armbar variation from Sophie here. Yeah, falling a little too far. It looks like the hips are a little far from the shoulder. Luke and Mike. Be a good match to watch. Nick and Danny, all right, and Andrew and Dylan over here on the side. Jordan been in the middle. Oh yeah, Caleb called me out on this one. Man, when Nick gets like over his chest over your back, it's very troublesome. Here he is looking for, I want to say, maybe reverse triangle or side triangle. But Danny doing a great job putting that spine to work. Getting up immediately into side control. Andrew playing some open guard over here above my head. I like Ben kind of taking his time here, making sure he maintains the position. Going knee on neck. All right. I like doing that to Jordan too. I get it. I think this is where Caleb starts to turn the tables on me. Nick, how did Nick get on top? Danny starts making his way to mount, but it looks like Nick shuts that down a bit. Danny trying to leg ride. I've been saying that for years. Been doing it for years. Nick with a little knee lever action. I think Danny said be nice. He was a little torqued up. So Nick takes top position, settling into a side control and isolating this far arm. Danny having thoughts of buggy chokes or something, but not really there. Buggy choke is going to be with this arm next to the head here. I'm not really sure what his intentions are with that. Yeah, I don't know. What did Andrew do over here? Andrew and Dylan. All right, they're just standing. Mike's still doing his best to keep Luke at bay. Luke probably thinking about ADCC rules, so I'm sure he's looking to pass at this point to get some points on the board. Caleb introducing a lot of movement into our round, and it starts to go bad. Driving into the skateboard. There it is. That was nice. So he goes wrist grips on you. You send the arms up high. Quick level change. Drive in. Right into the pad. Nice double. That's some like old Randy Couture style double leg action. Got Nick on a heavy wizard here. Let's see how this dogfight goes. I wonder if Danny sat down because he didn't feel comfortable standing in that position. Because Nick could work Hargoshi there. Danny has his own options though, so it's not all bad for him. Oh yeah, how did this happen with... Sorry, I forgot oh, is that how it went bad? That's right. So I think I settle, I try to go to cross Ashi here. And I basically become one with Caleb's leg, but it didn't work out well for me. Eventually he gets back up. Not in the most not in the most athletic position there, the way I'm laid out and tangled up. He slips his leg, slips his secondary leg, is able to roll through. I switch to the opposite leg now as he hides the right. Trying to control the toe line, trying to get anything I can out of this. Great work from him. Big step over. Yeah. Yeah, that was just my trash leg locking. And excellent movement from Caleb. Goes on to attack a Kimura here. But I won't let him get that. And then I think north-south here. But I see that I have time. There's no way I'm going to tap to that. Meanwhile, Nick taking advantage of Danny's attack here, possibly. Is that arm isolated? We going smother? We going arm attack? All right, Danny gave a quick tap on that. Very nice. Bin looking to peel legs. Is that why? Because you just let it get knelt on all the time? And ended that round with Mike and Luke. Mike in 3/4 mount, or I'm sorry, Luke in 3/4 mount. Looks to go to the back right at the very end. Mike rolls up to deny the points. It's nice. All right, Nick and Luke, Danny and Max. Sophie, Mike doing yoga. So Sophie asked me about this because I hit this on her a couple times. All right, Sophie, when you watch this, I said I normally do this with an overhook. It looked like I was we were reversed here. I had the underhook. The only reason I felt like I could do this was probably just by, our leg position, right? So I have my inside leg, the one closest to you, in front of your legs. I probably didn't feel too much pressure like towards me. So I put some pressure on you this way and just step across and throw my shoulder forward with that underhook. You could do the same exact thing with an overhook. In fact, you could do this to me if your feet were in front of mine and you were like pressuring towards me. So that move, that's Haragoshi. I think basically whatever. There's probably some nitpicking you could do there, but I think I hit it like once or twice again. We'll see what kind of grip I use on that later. Luke on a low single. Luke will hang out there and dig out of it, unlike anybody I've ever trained with. Case in point, into a crab ride, setting up this almost like a high ball ride, but not quite. Nick looking for the knee bar opportunity. Luke addresses it quickly by getting up, getting height, trying to turn the corner. That was a nice scramble. I hate when Luke goes in on those low singles and you can't slip it and he just like stays there like he did, holding the leg. It's like a gator not doing the gator roll to tear your limb off. Just like clamping down and you're caught in it. And then he'll move when he's ready. All right, so now I felt safe because it was shallow. yeah, exactly. It was really low on the ankle. Yeah, and you think you could like turn and slip it or like run out of it, and you can't. So now, Sophie, this was more the example of what I thought was happening. You have the underhook, I have the whizzer. Same deal. I step across, I block your legs with mine, and I throw my shoulder forward to get your upper body moving forward. So same throw, just first time done with an underhook, second time done with an overhook. As far as why it's happening, like watch where you end up putting your hips here. So like you kind of take this little hop step behind me. But unless, I mean, because I have that whizzer on, so unless you could limp arm out of this and then get behind me, or if you could move your hand maybe down to the waist, like you're kind of loading yourself into that position where I can elevate your hips with my hips and then, you know, do an Uchimata or a hard goshi or whatever. I would try not to run, like on this kind of underhook that you have, like try not to run behind me without addressing that grip first. Like take it down to the hips. You could work trips from there, or do what I did and try to run your hips in front of and across mine, and then do the same move I'm doing to you. But just, you know, feel next time we train, try to feel that vulnerability that you're putting yourself into as you run behind with that underhook, the way it is. Nick looking to dive to deep half, possibly, maybe. Now Luke countering with the guillotine. Nick trying to control the hips here with this butterfly hook, right? The closer Luke's hips can get in towards Nick's hips, the more trouble Nick is going to be in. So there you can see right before the tap, Luke has closed that distance considerably compared to a few seconds ago, right? That Nick's leg creating a lot of distance between the hips, relieving some of that pressure. Now as the hips come in, Luke can pull Nick's chin closer in towards his own chest and really put some torque on the guillotine. Nick jumping into the back take. This is like one of Luke's favorite things to teach during back week. So it's nice to see somebody not just attempting it, but basically getting it on him, at least briefly, until Luke removes one of the hooks. I couldn't tell if your right leg got in, Nick, but that was a nice attempt. Now Nick looking to turn. So Nick, when you go to turn on these anacondas, like the reason this fails is because of how far your hips are from the head. If you take your time here, like get your grip. I'm assuming you had a good grip for this, because I don't think you would have tried to turn without a good grip. But from here, you can like kind of lift your upper body up and scoot your hips in towards Luke's head and then hit your turn. You get so much more twist out of it. And you could feel it next time you see Peters, ask him to demonstrate that. Ask him about turning on the anaconda. Say Jameson mentioned, moving the hips in towards the head. When your hips are far out like this, you kind of just rely on like your spine twisting, right? You walk those hips in, you can use like your entire, it's more of like your posterior chain being able to like turn into it instead of just your back twisting. You can definitely feel the difference. Well, if I get to see you soon, we should definitely go over that. There's no reason you shouldn't be able to turn Luke over with that. Whether or not you can finish the anaconda on him, who knows? Oh, Max almost with a nice slide by on Danny. And Sophie is a great straight arm here. So she isolates my arm. Looks like she's maybe thinking about climbing the back or something here, but she stays on the side. gets my arm isolated pretty well there. And I'm telling her, get your shin across my shoulder line. So the knee should be on my left shoulder, the ankle should be on my right shoulder, and clamping down. That's that clamp guard or Williams guard. And with that, you can put tremendous pressure on that straight arm. You get a really, really solid break out of it. If we didn't see Mike using that straight arm as a sweep, we would have had a good example to go back to for that shin position. Mike has that move absolutely dialed. But it's, you know, where he would just kind of remain on his side and get his legs up into position and finish the move from there. Good scramble. Good scramble. Let's see. I'll be the judge of that. All right, so you're working 3/4 guard here. Try to hop to side control. Mike comes up on a cutback. You about get him down with the Sumigeshi. Mike's back to it. Yeah, that looked both of you are really trying to tough your way through that. Not in a bad way, not in like a strong jiu-jitsu way, just shutting down each other's movement very effectively. Careful on those dives, Andrew, because like I don't want to see you putting a hand to the mat. You kind of do it briefly, right? Like right here, Mike's tracking, trying to jump over that guard that way leaves that arm exposed, and like it leaves you kind of Supermaned out a little bit. I don't know. I feel like you're kind of vulnerable there. Not that that's the thing. Like some of those big movements around guards work well at certain times, but you don't want to do it at the expense of one of your limbs, right? You know why you're not in this stream, Austin? Because you didn't train on Monday, bud. So maybe you need to get to class, and I'll happily look at your narrow ass on the stream. We need more innovation in this stream, bro. Nick coming at you with the fury. Danny and I have a fun round. I'm going to point something out to you guys in this round that I have with Danny, and I hope you all take advantage of it, because Danny's stand-up will get better if you start to exploit it. One more time with Nick here. He's got the body lock. Sits through. I appreciate Nick doing this move from behind as opposed to from the side. Notice how he sits and kind of throws the hips forward a little bit. If you do that from the side, like if Nick's booty was facing us and he threw his hips across Caleb here, he's going to sit right on Caleb's knee, then possibly slide down to the ankle and really blow out Caleb's right leg. So trips like this, make sure you're doing them from the rear, the way Nick did here. That is Tani Atoshi, I believe. So yeah, it's about this time in this round with Danny, I realize like he's gonna hang on my head. He tried jumping on my back once or twice or 3 times. But at no point did I feel him changing levels and attacking my legs. I don't know if that's just with me. I don't know if he shoots singles on other people. But if Danny's not shooting singles on you, it doesn't make much sense for you to like voluntarily level change or you know, take a low wrestler stance and allow him to hang his weight on you, which he's very, very good at. Notice how much he's trying to control my head, get my posture broken down. Anytime I get out of that, I just kind of stand straight back up and walk straight towards him. And I don't really have to worry about my legs. The flip side to that is, if he's not shooting on me, if he's not lowering his level, he's leaving his legs exposed, which I try to shoot a sweep single on him later that he does run out of. But that was kind of the realization I had mid-round with him. Like, oh, if he's not going for my legs, or that makes it pretty easy for me to start going for his. So something you guys should keep in mind with your training partners. If they're really heavy up top exclusively, well, maybe you should try something like that, right? Quick level change, Danny slips out. And then now, you know, if you give your opponent or your partner something to think about as far as a different position to work, their defense will improve. Your offense will hopefully improve. This is like the second time Danny jumped on my back trying to get to some jumping armbar or whatever. I literally just keep my elbows tight to my body, let him body surf around on me. There's no real concern there. If he doesn't enter that with my arm already isolated. If he did, I would have a lot to be worried about. Austin, I miss you. Come back to class. Actually, you're probably there more than me right now. I can't say that. Big sweep from Caleb. Nick, how are you going to let Caleb do this to you? Caleb's got a lockdown. Okay, that's... Nick slides out and he just keeps him going. Not a bad idea. Danny sits here. Oh no, he tries to pull to a reverse triangle. Yeah, bro. Yeah, your size diapers are probably way more expensive than my infants. Trying to finish out strong with the triangle. Caleb finishing out strong with mount. Looking to dig that arm out and go into a smother. Doesn't quite get there. These two are just going to hang all their weight on each other the whole time. They both do that really well. Bug the head, bug the head. Ben will shoot a shot. Danny will break you down. Max trying to shoot on Ronnie. Ronnie with the sprawl. Trying to drive that hip down, get Max's long arm off of that leg. And he's able to keep it. And he gets back to his feet. This is nice. Oh, Ronnie just about gets him over. Sophie over here on Andrew's back. Coming up from the bottom. There we go. Nice turn all the way through. See right there, I think Danny should at least try to ankle pick. Like, he's got long arms. He can hit stuff like that. I don't know if the ankle pick would have worked on Ben. Ben probably just would have ripped his crazy muscular leg away. It's a little different. So Max goes arm drag, level changes, but he looks to grab the far leg instead of the near leg. I wonder why. Personally, I wouldn't necessarily want to use my arm in that position to like stop a step if that's the purpose here, like to stop Ronnie's legs from stepping forward. Maybe that works. I don't know. I've never tried this. I don't think I've ever seen it. But he pulls that far leg out pretty effectively. We got me and Mike over there. Looks like Danny's thinking about doing that same tactical lift snap down, but I don't know if Ben's going to let him have that one. Ben continuing to drive forward. Ronnie getting free. And Sophie down here looking for the arm triangle. We got Andrew defending. At least he was briefly. There we go. Sophie makes the switch. It's good. I want to see this knee bent a little bit more, pressing against the hip, just to open up space between the hips. Might get me on something there. I think he got a leg lock. Oh yeah, he got a crazy tight straight ankle from Cross Ashi. My secondary leg was super caught there, so there was no booting, there was no interfering with it. That was nice. Been in some danger here. Hits the jumping guard pass. Mid guillotine threat. Damn, Danny was able to secure that guillotine. Off that double against the wall. But now there's no chance for Ben to jump to the cross side to get safe there, so. Bad spot. Ronnie on knee bar, I think. Well, heel hook-ish, right? She gets the heel hook. Is super duper nice with it. Max knows he's caught. Right at the bell. Danny and Luke. Oh, are they? So, looks like Max and Ronnie are going over that. So it's just a far side ankle pick he does, huh? Ronnie, are you in the chat? Did he have any good details to discuss about this? I kind of want to talk to him, see why he likes to go for that far leg. Bane coming up on the single, head outside though. But Bertram taught a far side ankle pick recently. All right, maybe that was it. I'll have to ask Mike about it. Danny onto Luke's back, but Luke getting his shoulders to the mat before Danny can secure anything. What the hell happened? Oh, okay. Oh, I tried to do a legs Kimura on Ronnie. God, I wanted that. Fast forward a little bit. Luke shrugs out of that. Nick and Andrew having a scrap over here. Luke out the back now. As Danny gives up the underhook. I think Luke got him off balance effectively enough here, so Danny's, that was a little sloppy there, right? So Danny leaning forward, Luke right here, he's got what he needs. Gets the underhook. Tight waist grip. Doesn't come up to his knees on it. Stays down because he's got Danny's legs really tangled up there at the knees. But Danny's able to twist and face him. Looks like Luke's laughing at him because of the leg configuration. Andrew trying to dig this leg out, and it looks like he's making some progress. Giving Nick the 1-2 with the legs to get him sat down to his butt. He gets it. Look at what Andrew does here. This is slick. So 1, right? He gets him off balance there with his left leg, and then 2, bringing up that reaping leg and driving it across. So Nick was, not 1 second before, really pressuring forward, hiding the leg, putting a lot of weight forward. Andrew creates a little bit of space, gets the reap in, and then now he's got the leg exposed. Gets the heel there. Nice, very nice. Luke is just hammering forward. Great hip switch. Get by Danny's legs with the quickness. And then right into a body triangle on the back. Probably going to go over the face, as Luke loves to do. There it is. Chasing down that leg, goes up tight waist, driving across, and then right here is like super key moment. Danny trying to track him. Danny can press forward against this leg to try to send his own hips backwards, trying to like re-guard, get his other leg in. So Luke has to clear that leg pretty quickly, even doing so with some heavy head pressure here. Watch this hip switch, just right there. Started to climb the legs before a little bit. Felt like he wasn't making it. All right, Danny kind of extracted the leg before Luke made the move, but still great hip switch to get by. And nicely onto the finish. Danny putting on some good passing pressure there, controlling the legs. Good enough to make Luke turtle up to deny the points. And Luke really going limp here, making Danny work for anything. Danny's got one hook in. Danny's got Luke in a tough spot here. What? I'm trying to understand why Danny let this go. Alright, I guess maybe he felt like he didn't have the angle anymore, which he kind of doesn't. Luke turns through this. But man, hold on to that, or at least I'd say before you bail on this, take your control arm and go back to an underhook, right? That way you slow down Luke's turn, right? The one that's kind of already happening right now. If you could slow that down with like a little bit of a claw grip to the shoulder and scoot your hips out behind him, you might be able to recover this without having to climb. Yeah. Damn, Danny was in a great spot. I mean, Luke, kudos to Luke for the moving through that on the roll. I feel like Danny could have recovered. Ronnie gets out of the armbar. Max does not get out of the smother. Poor guy. Yeah, 100%. Very, very good point, James. What James is trying to say is that where was it? Where Danny? Yeah. So here, I mean, yeah, Danny. I wouldn't say he had much. He had a little bit of lower body control, but it was still already compromised, like just because of how Luke was able to turn before that. But yeah, if had he established, a hook or an underhook opposite the hook, yeah, could have saved that. And not that Luke makes any of that easy, but Luke and I get a match, and all he does is complain about how slippery I get because I work hard and sweat. I think I'm going to bring a towel into class from now on and wipe down before every round. Because I am pretty slippery. I know that. I don't know why. I don't do anything special. I just get sweaty. I don't want to rely on slipping out of moves, so I feel like I should towel down before every match in an open mat. All right, got Danny and Andrew over here too. I've been playing with this rear crucifix a lot lately and almost had Luke in a bad spot here. Setting up the legs Kimura, my body side leg, so my right leg in this case, the one closer to Luke's hips, as opposed to my head side leg, which is my left side, coming over the top and trying to get control over Luke's far side arm here for the setup for the legs Kimura. I'm gonna have to slip my left leg out and come around over the top. There I make the switch so you can see my right leg is doing the primary work here of controlling that left arm. Maybe if I kind of triangle my legs here, but now you can see this arm is blocking Luke's ability to sit up. So my goal is to get his left hand to the mat and behind his back with my legs. But I don't do a great job of keeping him sat down. That was solid defense from him. He's keeping his hands connected and using them to push right here. That gives him enough space. Damn, that was a nice defensive move from him. I felt great about that. I was surprised how far into the move I got. It wasn't it was not threatening him, but it was far enough along into the setup that I was pretty pleased. Meanwhile, we got Andrew and Danny. What are they doing? Danny's sitting through, looking to address that trapped leg. Andrew coming up kind of an overback sweep sort of style. And then sit into a really slick triangle. See it on camera? Yeah. Damn, Andrew. That was nice, dude. And Danny, I'd say Danny, I'm sure it was tight. Danny's just got the arm hidden. I'm curious if he's tapping early. Maybe if it's like his neck's bothering him or something. I think he tapped early on an attack on that right arm earlier. But let's look at this again. So, Andrew up over the top. Danny with the hand to the mat. This is some slick movement here, Andrew. So bringing your hips up and around. Basically going to like almost a rear crucifix position, but from standing. And that basically is what you're doing. This is... I'm just trying to think about how you could like recreate this live in a roll instead of like kind of in a scramble. It would be kind of hard just due to the leg configurations. Go through there. You're kind of just sitting right into a seated head and arm. Danny's twisted up in this though. That's funny how that played out. Very nice. Setting up X guard on Luke, trying to keep him off balance. Just hear Mike Peters screaming in my brain to extend my legs while I was doing this. Trying to not let Luke get too balanced. Danny onto something. Possibly, let's see. I mean, I see a little heel hook in action there. I can't see the setup or anything, but I can see a little bit more than you guys can, but not much. I'm trying to see what Danny's doing. So Danny, it looks like he's trying to attack. He's trying to attack the leg here. He's got a straight ankle. But then you make a really great read here and just turn over the side with your leg safe. It doesn't look like your leg is extend well. Maybe. Yeah, I mean, he lets go of the leg there. There's a little bit of danger here, Andrew, if he managed to keep that grip. But I'm guessing, I mean, it looks like he really let go of it. So now, all that to say, he could have possibly kept you in a belly down straight ankle, but at the same time, you put one on him. But it doesn't matter. You guys roll through anyway. It's a heel hook. Quick succession. Andrew, taking Danny up and over. Creating space. Little back attack action for me. Trying to give Luke a taste of his own back attack medicine. Not the whole straitjacket method. Me trying that on Luke doesn't really work too effectively. Here he just pulls me over his. I was so pissed he did this. Just pulled me right off. I'm like, all right, fine. A small detail. You guys know I love standing guard breaks. We see Luke not do one here, but he does a mechanic from the standing guard break that is like the most important part of it. He's totally upright and he pushes at my knee. That's what puts pressure on my ankles. So, you know, in a pinch, if you guys can't stand for whatever reason, just notice how upright Luke is and his placement of his hands. He attacks at my knee. He's not pushing at my waist. He's not digging his elbows into my thighs. He very effectively opens my ankles up with a knee push and upright posture. All right, so keep that in mind. If he stood up and did the same, it would have looked almost exactly the same. Andrew on a Darce now. Bro, you were working Danielson. Danny keeping that hand at the hip there, though. Trying to keep you back down. See if Danny can recover from this. Goes into his own leg attack here. Yeah. There we go. He's got to get you broken down to a hip before that's going to work. Does it at the end there. That's nice. That was a killer round for me, too. Fun round with Luke. I know I take Jackson this round. Alright, there we go. Got Max and Ben. That's what happens when both guys choose to do jiu-jitsu. Fun stuff shakes out. Ben really controlling the distance here on that leg attack. And as Peters often likes to remind us, when you attack the legs, if it doesn't work out for a submission, it often can end with a sweep. And that's what we see from Ben there. So Max using a leg position, it's not going to work too well from the front side. If he wants to get Ben back, Ben's going to have to either be standing really upright, or Max is going to have to put his feet on Ben's hips, like the soles of his feet on top of the hips. You can't really do much with the shins inside the legs in a high percentage kind of way, right? Like you could pull that off once in a great while, I'm sure, but Ben certainly won't let that happen. Good movement from Ben, but great guard work from Max right up until he gets past. Let's see if he can recover. Alright, Ben on a arm-in guillotine there. With the leg entanglement to seal the deal. Keep going, Ben stays low. Scoot ahead a bit. It's getting late. Max jumps behind, looks to work a power half. Oh, but instead just takes Ben over. Notice how quickly Ben shifts his hips out. He doesn't wait for Max to get his hooks in an established position. As soon as that turn happened, Ben starts scooting his hips along the mat, trying to get out. Go full bully mode on Jackson here. Put him in a full Nelson. Pick him up with it. Marionette him around. Tries head pushing me. Oh, keep going. It's like Max trying to work. And with the smother. Looks like that about wraps it up. All right. Good stuff. Great Monday training. That was so much fun. I almost puked to the ride home. Very, very tired, very exhausted. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in and sticking around. Ramses, thank you for hanging out, chiming in. Please, always feel welcome to do that. Anybody else lurking, you guys are always welcome to chime in, ask questions, say, what the hell am I looking at? What does all this mean? Thank you. You too. Have a very good night. Hope to see you again. Um, thank you, Austin. Love you, buddy. What else? Yeah, I think that's about it. Follow if you're lurking and you like what you're seeing. If you really like it, subscribe. Helps us out a great deal. Use your Twitch Prime. No cost to you if you have an Amazon Prime membership. And subscribe over at YouTube where I'll post this for you guys to review. I know we got Ben. He's got a match in a month at Blue Coast Grappling over in Denver. So hope to see you guys out there supporting him, as well as John. John Lamia will be there in a match as well. So we got two of our most entertaining training partners getting out there ready to test themselves and get that W. So hope to see you guys. Yes. Hope to see you guys giving them some good rounds, keeping them sharp in training, and then we'll go out and support them in August. September 20th, Greensboro, Naga, and then ADCC Open in December. So a lot to look forward to and a lot to train for. In the meantime, go trim your nails and do your laundry, and don't be stinky. And I'll see you back on the mats. Take it easy, guys.